so I paid enough for them. Uh, yeah. Okay, so thank you so much. But I had really bad teeth as a kid, really, really bad, and
Did
my
you
dream
really?
was, yeah, oh
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I messed them up with the soda and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Twizzlers and the Skittles. Okay.
Oh,
Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Jeannette, also known as Misfit Vegan. We have the GOAT in the house, baby. We have Dr. Robert Morse looking so good.
oh,
Looking
thanks,
so
Jeanette.
good. Can you please remind us how old are you, Dr. Morse?
75, almost 76, going
You look
toward my 80.
you look amazing. And how
Uh,
long have you been on this raw living lifestyle? How long have you been on this path?
about 56, 57 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started
Why?
when right out of the Air Force. I probably was 22 years old when I got into raw food.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow, you got in young. You got lucky.
I did
Okay,
get lucky.
so
Yeah.
now my first question to you is, what are your thoughts on B12? Do you personally take a B12 supplement?
Lord, no. I don't take any supplements or medications. I don't take anything like that. B12, everybody goes after B12. And I remember the days when medical doctors were after us for orthomolecular supplementation or vitamins and minerals. And they were after us saying how bad it was. Now I'm boohooing them all. And they're saying how you have to have or you're going to die. And it's like, really? I was sitting in Shania Twain's mansion in Switzerland one day talking to the president of baby food section of Nestle's. And Nestle's is the largest manufacturer of foods on the planet, probably. And he was arguing with me about B12, and you needed protein for B12, even though it's a sub or a coenzyme that comes out of the bowels, right? And his wife walked up and said, honey, when I eat meat, my B12 goes down. When I'm vegetarian, my B12 goes up. And I had to laugh at that.
Okay, so you don't take a B12.
Don't
Um,
take anything. Why supplement? The Homo sapien is a frugivore, right? And when you're eating predominantly a fruit diet, you've got your kidneys filtering, you're moving your lymphatic system properly. Why? And so you're fixing your food processing parts of yourself. Why do you need to supplement? See, we got lost with supplementation. I grew up with that. As a naturopath, they taught us you had to have vitamins and minerals and stuff like that. And I'm a fruitarian thinker. So and I'm going, why holistically you don't extract out of food what you think you need to have. You eat the food that has it in it. But you first have to learn that you have to digest properly. You have to absorb properly. You have to utilize properly. And then you have to remove the byproducts from all of this. And most humans are not doing any of these well.
so I mean, yeah, you just said the way, the secret that everybody's looking for. So question, why do you think some people can stick to a healthy plant-based diet and some people seem to really struggle?
I think a lot is one emotional. There's no question about it. Most people's adrenal glands are down. They have emotional hooks to foods. Uh, Most people have high fungal problems in the body, just from weak adrenal glands, the excess sugars, the sucroses, the polysaccharide diets, things like this gives, and then wrong food combinations causing fermentation and putrefaction in their digestive tract. And so humans are just full of fungus, and fungus makes you crave fermented foods, breads, cheeses, things like this. And that seems to be the difficulty of a lot of people that struggle with this. And then a lot of people love dead animal meat. They're just hooked to that stuff, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah, they like to eat it, but they
they
don't
like to
like to procure it from nature.
right, exactly. I mean, if you had to go out and kill your animals and skin them and all that, it's like, oh my God. You know what? It's just the Homo sapien is a frugivore. He's not a carnivore. He's not even an omnivore. And even omnivores don't eat the level of proteins that humans do. It's amazing. If you fed bears and things like this the level of protein that humans eat, you'd probably kill them. Bears don't even eat high protein diets, and they're omnivores, you know.
Great point. Great point. Whew. Yeah, in nature, we wouldn't be eating 3 times a day meat, dead animals, the
Oh
dairy,
Lord, no.
oh, we really
Well, we
screwed it up
wouldn't even be
here.
eating any of that. We're a passive species. We're primates. You know,
Yeah.
we're what 98% orangutan. So the real issue is that the Homo sapien is a frugivore. You can go back with Dr. Walker's work. He went back 20 million years to the hominids and then the Homo erectus, which he does claim the Homo erectus before the Homo sapien was a little bit of an omnivore species. But you know, that's all location. I've always said this: you have go into a grade school and have a big table of fruit and then a big table of vegetables. Which table do you think the children are going to go to? They're going to go to the watermelons behind you. They're going to go to the things that taste sweet, taste good. But we're frugivores. So you can't prove that we're anything else. And also, man has not adapted. And to look at that, look how sick humans are. And look at the degradation of the human cell. Genetics of the human cells degraded at a level never seen before. Mutations of our babies are like you've never seen. And it just shows that humans have not adapted to this high carnivorish, omnivorish type lifestyle. And even cats, they don't do well. Look at the true carnivores. They have low endurance. They sleep 20 to 22 hours a day. You know, National Geographic has cats sleeping at 20 to 22 hours a day. Okay, some kitty cats will only sleep 16 to 20, but who sleeps that much? You know, and then you have low endurance. You might have a quick, stimulated move, but then, if you watch a chase of a lion to an antelope can outrun it, and then the cat gets tired and has to sit down and relax. And, it's so, and of course, proteins suck calcium out of your body. So it's
Yeah.
just and it's acidic food. So then you acidify the blood, so you change the pH, and then the body's trying to fight against that, and it just on and on and on. The link to protein diets and colon cancer by the World Health Organization, 31 studies, and then of course my work is kidney work, and it just slams your kidneys, and so you can't do it. And when you're in pain and eating protein, your pain goes way on up.
Yeah. One more question about the B12, please, because I'm
Sure,
really, I get a lot of questions as a raw
sure.
vegan. Where do I get it from? I don't supplement either. I'm curious, do you think it's safe to take one of these synthetic B12 supplements, in your opinion?
I don't think it's safe to take too many supplements at all. And in the news, you're seeing that now these supplements are causing more harm than good. And so it just went from naturopathic to allopathic, but supplements are more pharmaceutical thinking, extraction of active principles, or like look at vitamin C. Everybody goes crazy over vitamin C. Really, Linus Pauling, right? Vitamin C is an acid. And a lot of people are using vitamin C intravenously to treat what they call cancer. And then they're getting hardening of the arteries from it. It's like, no, vitamin C is a byproduct or a spinoff on the Krebs cycle. These acids have to be eliminated, not taken more of them. I mean, acids is the other side of chemistry that is on the eliminative side, not the consumption side. As a chemist, when you're looking at consumption, your blood is your kitchen, right? You need a high electron, electrolyte food, and that's only fruits, berries, melons, and vegetables. Those are the only foods that are alkaline forming. Everybody else, beans, grains, pasteurized dairy products, these are all acid forming foods. And so you don't put acids into the blood. That's what your lymphatic system's for, is to take acids out of your body. So
Wow.
people don't understand that much, but when they start learning about it, it's an aha moment, especially when you apply it to your lifestyle. You start seeing everything going away, tumors going away. You're starting to get out of wheelchairs. You're starting to go, oh wow, look, my body's regenerating itself. Look, just on fruit. How can that be? So, this whole idea of supplementation is a ridiculous world, and it's not holistic. Holistic means everything has to be consumed whole. For example, why I'm into botanicals, they're loaded with everything you need. And if you ever thought you were deficient, then take help or something like that. But you can't say deficiency until you fix your digestion, your absorption, which is huge. Most people are very malabsorbed. That's a lymphatic problem. And then your utilization, your adrenal glands. Most people, adrenal glands are down. You have 23 mineral corticosteroids out of the adrenals. So most of your minerals, except for calcium, which is the parathyroid, if they're down, you're not going to utilize it no matter how much you take. And then you have to eliminate the waste and byproducts from this. So there's these four phases that are essential to humans before you can even say deficiency.
Wow. What's your first step of action when it comes to moving the lymphatic system? What do you think is the first thing people should start taking care of?
Kidneys. Your
The
kidneys
kidney.
and adrenal glands. Your kidneys, each kidney eliminates your waste from each side of the body. So your right kidney eliminates the waste from the right side, your left side. So a lot of people have tumors on one side over another, and that's that particular kidney. Medical doctors don't understand what kidneys are for. They think you have an extra one. And all this kind of craziness. No, no, no. Your kidneys are lymphoid organs. They're the eliminate. Exactly. Most medical doctors think your urine should be clear. In
Sorry,
other
it's
words,
just hilarious.
no. And so to have clear urine is like going to the potty, going to the bathroom, doing poo poo, flushing your toilet, and nothing comes out but water on your sewer pipes. Where's your waste going? And that's exactly what clear urine is. You should always see sediment in your urine. And we always show these type of pictures where you see sediment in the urine. If you don't see sediment in your urine, you're going to form tumors, cysts, all kinds of problems, endometriosis, all kinds of problems as you get older.
So I guess you do not recommend urine therapy then. Sorry.
If you're, I wouldn't if you're filtering, that's for sure.
I
You're drinking your waste from your cells. You're reabsorbing, drinking waste from cells. I mean, to me, the whole thing is ridiculous. And I knew a lot of people that were urine drinkers. It's like,
yeah.
no, no, no. In the military, I'm military, and it's like, no, you don't drink your own urine. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, sorry, you just made me laugh when you said doctors think we have an extra kidney. Oh, that is so hilarious. And that is how they work.
Right.
They're like, "Oh, you don't need that gallbladder. We'll take that out.
Exactly.
You don't need that
Exactly.
what was the thing they
Oh,
used to take out?
oh,
The
lymph
the
nodes,
the
tonsil.
the tonsils.
Yeah.
You don't need it. You don't
You don't
need
need your lymph nodes. And then you take your lymph nodes out, and then you start swelling up with lymphedema, and you go, oh, 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 oh.
Okay. What about thank you so much. By the way, you have changed the trajectory of my life, Dr. Morse.
Oh,
So
thanks.
thank you for that. Because
Good.
everybody in my family has had cancer and diabetes and horrible, horrible things. And because of you, I'm breaking the cycle of that.
Good.
So
Good.
thank
Good.
you.
Good. Good.
Now, what about vitamin D? You don't take supplements. What do you recommend to people that are not living in the tropics and they're low in vitamin D?
Still get out in the sun. You know, vitamin D is lipid based, and that's always depends upon the sun because the sun is acidic. And if you look at how the body works, your lymphatic system is the system that deals with acids, where your blood deals with alkalis or alkaline chemistry. But your lymphatic system is a lipid or cholesterol based system. And that's because it deals with the acid side. Acids are corrosive, and you have to get them out of the body, not recirculate them through the blood as allopathic thinks. That's ridiculous. This concept of giving someone chemotherapy is extremely criminal. That's 1.5 to 2 pH in your blood. And so it's an insanity that is unbelievable. You can't do it. You have to understand there's only two sides of chemistry. You only have two major fluids that control the health of a cell. One's the kitchen, one is simply the bathroom. You know, every kinetic energy is always creating byproducts and waste. And waste from all types of activity, even manufacturing, yields acids. We complain about acid air, acid rain, but it's byproducts from manufacturing, just like your car. You know, you put an alkaline fuel in, but your exhaust system gets rid of acid byproducts from combustion. If you want to kill yourself, just suck on your exhaust pipe. 3 minutes, you're about had it.
Oh gosh,
It's
that's good.
horrible.
I love how you break things down into a way I can understand. Thank you so much. Now, we do have a lot of people watching, so they do have questions.
Sure.
Let me ask you a few random questions from people. Thank you,
Well,
everyone, for being here.
thank
Okay,
you.
so someone is eating a raw vegan diet, and she is also taking several medications. She was diagnosed with lymphoma. Okay. So what is your advice to her on that?
Okay. First thing up. If you're diagnosed with a lymphoma, guess which system you're having trouble with? Any cancer is of the lymphatic system. Sorry. That's your sewer system. So her main problem is her kidneys and her adrenal glands. So she has to get her kidneys to start filtering again, which we just showed you pictures of filtration, right? Of her urine. Key to get that. To show you an idea, this is your lymphatic system in your finger, right? Your lymphatic system is more detailed than your blood system, but it's simply your sewer system, right? It deals with the removal of acids out of your body. When you're not removing acids, just study what an acid is. It's corrosive, it's agglomerative, it makes things stick and harden. You'll start to get a good example of acid is go work out, and the next day you can feel real stiff and tight. That's acid, that's your lymphatic system. So the her big problem is kidney filtration. She just has to get her kidneys filtering. So pee in a jar and take a look at your urine. But you have to get yourself on a diet that opens up kidneys, and that's a fruit diet. If I'm her, forget vegan. We're not herbivores. We are frugivores. So I would put her on a 100% grape diet.
Mm,
Where's your
thank you.
lymphoma at?
Thank you so much. Okay, yes. Let us know.
Yeah,
Okay.
because she also has her adrenal glands on top of the kidneys. They control that. And in your mentioning of your family, that's why you see the diabetes, you can see high blood pressures. It's all linked to the same problems.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Same
Thank you so
tissues.
much. Salt. Now, people are asking about salt, and I wanted to ask you about that. Do you personally consume salt?
No. And if you
And
crave
why
salt,
don't you?
well, why would you if you're eating properly? So anybody that craves salt, where's the problem? Your adrenal glands. Your adrenal glands controls the sodium, where your kidneys control the potassium. So you have this sodium potassium pump in the body that regulates the ability of cells to metabolize all this sort of thing. But sodium is cravers are always weak adrenal glands. Always, always, always.
And do you think there's one salt that's safer or healthier than the other, or are they all the same?
No, no. If you're gonna do the salts, and you got to do the Celtic Himalayan, the full mineralized salts. You don't do just sodium chlorides. No, 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 no. If you're gonna do that, you can even do kelp or dulse, some seaweed that you feel that's more salty but has a heavy mineral balance. If you feel like you need that, but realize that you're deficient in that and that your adrenal glands are the problem. Once you fix that, you don't crave anything. If you're eating a healthy diet, which remember, we're frugivores. I lived out in the woods as a hermit, remember, for a couple of about 3 years, and I just ate oranges. I didn't feel deficient. Oh, matter of fact, I couldn't stop the energy. I had so many out of body experiences. I had so much energy. I just said, how did I turn this off? It's just when you're eating properly, your kidneys are filtering properly, you have proper digestion, proper absorption, proper utilization of the chemistry, and proper elimination of the byproducts of this. You don't crave anything. Matter of fact, you're saying, how do I stop this much energy? How do I get a hold of this? Because it's an incredible journey.
But where did you get your B12?
I know where to get my B12, where to get my D's, where to get my B vitamins and all that crap. It's like, really? Well,
Okay,
B12, keep in mind, is a coenzyme. It's that simple. It really deals with your intestinal flora. That's all that is. And it's such ridiculous.
so if you don't eat seaweed and you don't do table salt with iodine, where do you get your iodine from?
I get whatever traces is in fruit. That's all you need. I come from Indiana, which is considered the low iron, the goiter belt, so
Yes.
that. It's like, no, 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 no. Goiters are lymphatic problems, not iodine problems. Matter of fact, too much iodine is very toxic. They give that in case of radiation exposure and stuff. Now you'll trip up your thyroid. Now you have hyperthyroidism. Then they'll remove your thyroids. I mean, it's a cat chasing its tail. It's ridiculous. We're Homo sapien. Go back to what vertebrae is the Homo sapien, and we are frugivores. And everything you need is found in that. And our tissue regeneration stories worldwide just prove that. We've gotten people out of wheelchairs, people out of MS, Lou Gehrig's, people out of tumors. We have about 95% success in tumors and that sort of thing, at least, because the 5% we don't save is very advanced.
Thank you so much. We have a question about kidney stones. So, what causes kidney stones, and what is your best advice on how to get rid of them?
Well, I'm glad you asked because right now kidney stones are very popular out there. I've had 9 of them. I grew up with farming and a lot of milk products and sweet teas, and of course, all those are inflammatory and congestive. Uh, First of all, whenever you have any stone formation, you have too much acidosis interstitially. Your lymphatic system is too inflamed. And so chemistry bonds when you're acidic. Acids are like welding something. Like, for an example, endometriosis. A lot of women that have their uterus removed, they have to cut it off the bowel wall because it welded itself to the bowel wall. Its acids are very inflammatory, very corrosive in nature. So it's that sort of thing. If you have kidney stones, we have a kidney stone tea and herbs that dissolve the kidney stones because not too many herbs do that. And you want to dissolve that, and you all want to go on fruit only and a lot of it. Get yourself alkaline because there's only two sides of chemistry. And acids is where you see stones, kidney stones, gallstones, tumors, cysts, boils, pimples, all this. To cure that, you got to get on the other side of chemistry. There's only two sides, and everything is chemistry. You eat it, you drink it, you breathe it, you put it on your skin. I've always said to ladies, can you eat the makeup that you have on your skin? Because if you can't eat it, why do you have it on your skin? Because that's what you put on your skin is how you eat things, what you
You're
breathe, what you drink.
you're eating it, right? Like
You're
you
eating.
put on the makeup, it's going directly into your bloodstream.
Oh, it'll go right in. Oh, your skin is a sponge. That's why we
You know
put a
what?
lot of medications, we put a lot of meds on your skin.
Everyone's upset right now, but you're talking about the truth. And this
Yeah.
is the little things that, you go to the
Yeah.
doctor and there's stuff that's wrong with you and he can't figure it out. You can't figure it out. And it's these little things that add up and accumulate.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Medical doctors don't understand what causes anything. They're trapped in this illusion called disease, I call it. There is a cause for every effect. So when you see an effect in the body, you don't treat the symptom of it, you go after the cause of it. If you treat the symptom of it, most people die from that.
Now thank you so much. You recommend fruit, of course, a fruit-based diet, but
Mhm.
what about Candida? Doesn't fruit cause Candida?
No, 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 no. Here's a good example. Candida is just a fungal problem, right? So do this. Put a bunch of grapes on your kitchen counter and then put a piece of white bread or cheese. Which grows mold on it first, the grapes or the cheese or bread? And you're going to know the cheese or bread because it's already fermented. Candida is, again, a part of the fungal family. This is all deals in fermentation. And man consumes way too much sucrose. And of course, the adrenal glands, a lot of people are weak in the adrenal glands, and your adrenal glands is how you metabolize sugars. And so,
Mm.
and I'll trip you from type 2. So going to type 1, which is your pancreas, that's either a neurological weakness of the beta cells or I'll put it this way. Our type 1s, we put all on a fruit diet. Why? Because fruit does not require insulin. Glucose does require insulin. So an example is if you're a type 1 and you have a fruit diet, your blood sugars will stabilize. If you have a vegetable diet, you will have always trouble with it because glucose requires insulin. But then you can fix your beta cells, you can fix your pancreas, you can fix all of this up. Everything is curable. This is just, you have to understand what causes cells to go the way they go.
Okay, so you said everything is curable.
Sure.
So, but how come they say, what's your opinion on back to the B12, Dr. Morse. A B12 deficiency, the symptom, it's irreversible brain damage if you get a deficiency. What are your thoughts on that one?
My
Nerve
thoughts on
damage,
that,
irreversible nerve damage.
that is a medical doctor's thinking. That's not a naturopathic thinking. And if there's a naturopath that thinks that, they're not a good naturopath. I've been a naturopath 51 years. I never consider B12 ever. And all my people, we're famous for it. We cure everything. And it's like, I never could. Well, I got some lad wrote me and said the same thing about B1. If I don't get B1, I get my B vitamins and I have brain damage. It's like, oh, come on, kid. No, 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 no. It's just these docs are like wackos. They do not understand how the body works. They don't understand the lymphatic system at all. They don't understand chemistry. They're lost in some kind of pseudo thinking that the body's too alkaline for some reason. They think they can use an acid at 1.5 to 2 pH in someone's blood. And of course, that destroys all the cells. I mean, they just don't get it. They're fixated on effects instead of causes. And they're just taught wrong.
That's good. They're fixated on effects instead of causes. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Now,
If you take
okay.
a symptom and you don't understand chemistry and you don't understand how the body works, because A&P is still infant in its teaching medical doctors how the body works. A&P, I've got a good friends that are A&P professors, and they're not allowed to teach what they know. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, if you ever talk to
Yeah.
Patty, she is a 25-year A&P professor. She's also a biochemistry professor. When I first came out with the fact that the kidneys need to filter and that this controls the lymphatic drainage of systemic waste, she called me up and said, you just answered how the body gets rid of metabolitic or kinetic waste. She said, we don't know that. And she's been teaching medical doctors all her life. So she came work for me for a year and she's curing everybody of everything. She said, but I miss teaching. So she went back teaching A&P in medical colleges. But she said, I can't teach what I know. She says, I get it in, but she can't teach what she knows.
That is a great point. That is a
Yeah.
great point. Okay, wow, we got a lot of questions now.
Either
All
way.
right. What if you have an underactive thyroid? What are the herbs and the lifestyle changes that you'd recommend for that?
Okay, so if you have an underactive thyroid, first of all, you want to look at a couple of things. Are you short or are you tall? Because there's what's called the pituitary gland that controls the thyroid, parathyroids, the adrenals, and everybody else. So a lot of times, especially if you're short or tall, that's a pituitary problem. You can see the suppression of thyroids from the pituitary gland. So we have a formula called the endocrine gland formula that addresses low thyroid function. But whenever you see, so I want to go back to something very simple for everybody to understand. No matter where I'm looking at your thyroid, I'm looking at your heart, I'm looking at your liver, I'm looking at your lungs, I'm looking at your ovaries, I'm looking at your testicles as a male. What I see is the same thing everywhere I go in the human body. A bunch of cells that creates tissue, that creates the organ or gland, right? And then I see two fluids that these cells have access to, only two. One is blood, one is lymph. So ask yourself, what are these two fluids for? Blood is always kitchen and always alkaline. Your blood has to be 7.4 or death is imminent within a few minutes. So your blood is your alkaline reserve. Your diet your blood is a product of your diet. And then, of course, the byproducts of cellular metabolism, cellular respiration, cellular activity is always acids. They have to be removed. You don't dump acids back in the blood. That's what your lymphatic system's for, and that's your sewer system. Your kidneys and your skin are your eliminative organs to this system. Your spleen is the way the blood cleans its waste into the lymphatic system. Your gallbladder is part of the lymphatic system. That's what hydrolyzes lipids. And your lymphatic system is a lipid-based system, not your blood. Your blood can't deal with lipids like that. Your blood is a water-based system.
Wow.
So it's simply understanding those two things. So when lymphatic system backs up in the heart, in the thyroid gland, it'll suppress it, but then you'll get nodules, and then you'll go from hypo to hyper. Hyper is just the same problem. Hyper is easy to take care of, just hyperthyroidism, all these things, goiters, stuff like that. You'll see on our next YouTube. Here's a guy that just went on a fruit diet. Look at that goiter, almost gone. And we
Whoa.
got a lot of people like
Oh.
that. These are just tumors. The
And what
result
did
of
he do? He went fruit.
went
And
fruit
how long
diet.
did that take?
I don't know. I have to ask him. It wasn't too long at all, really.
Whoa.
But we've had a lot of people with big goiters. That was a small goiter, but we have, you got goiters out to here. And that's all lymphatic problems, not blood problems. And there's only the two. So think about how simple this is. There's only two sides of chemistry. There's only two major fluids that deal with the cells, and everything else is cells. I think I couldn't be more simple to understand. And foods have the same way. Foods are either alkaline or foods are acidic. So foods that are acidic are meats, grains, beans, pasteurized dairy products. And of course, you don't want dairy products after age 6 months or a year at the most, anyway. And think about this in high proteins, right? Mother's milk. Mother's milk is almost 8% carbon. That's sugar, right? 3% or a little more is lipids. That's your lymphatic system. Then protein. Mother's milk is less than 1% protein. And yet, all these baby formulas were real high in protein and low in sugar. That's why they took them off the shelves, because all these baby foods were causing NEC, necrosis of the bowels of our babies.
Mm,
You can't consume acid foods and think you're going to be healthy. That's ridiculous.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, you're right. So what are your thoughts? Are there any? So you don't take any supplements, you're 75, you're looking amazing, you're thriving, you're
I
sharp
think
as a
got my hair.
fucking the sharpest tact. Okay, you're like, I mean, your results are speaking for themselves, but are there any supplements at all that you would ever consider recommending to someone on a raw food diet? Do you think there's anything that we can't get from fruit, vegetables, nuts, and seeds?
Not in terms of supplements, but I am a botanical guy because I own my own botanical company. And the reason is that botanicals are designed for tissues of the body or blood or lymph. So you have herbs that are designed for the heart, herbs that are designed for the kidneys, herbs that are designed for the liver. You have herbs that are for the blood. You have herbs that will pull tumors right out of your body for the lymphatic system. So herbs are not diseases. Herbs are made and I recommend botanicals because they're whole. Their consciousness is intact. In other words, why did God make burdock root or burdock leaves? Why, so when you look at the consciousness of these beautiful little plants, they can do all kinds of things for you. Where if I'm taking B vitamins, what's that going to do? Right? I mean, it's just treating a symptom, and it's just ridiculous. And when you're eating raw foods, you got plenty of B's in there. B vitamins are water soluble. So my question is, why does humans cook their food? As soon as you cook food, all your water solubles are gone. That's your B vitamins, and all this is gone. Everything else coagulates, changes chemistry, and bonds to each other. And it's like, call that healthy? No, 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 no.
Well, I was thinking the other day how the animals, even the carnivore and the omnivore animals, they eat their animals raw and living, right? Like lions like to chase zebra live because they know
No kidding.
the
And guess where they
live.
like to go to? They like to go to the gut tissue because it's pre-digested vegetables. That's the pre-digested proteins, and it helps them out because a protein on a cat has the same effect as anything else. But if you look at the design of a cat and the teeth and the short GI tract and the smooth GI tract, I mean, there's so much differences between even a carnivore and an omnivore. It's just like night and day. National Geographic came out with a series called The Great Carnivores, and they featured the grizzly bears, their first show. And I had to laugh because the grizzly bear is not a carnivore, he's an omnivore. And so by the time the show was over, the grizzly bear's diet was 65% sage grass, 14% berries and tubers and other things, only 6% to 7% protein. And most of that on the older bears was from the skin, so they could have this glycogen reserve so they could hibernate. The baby bears got more of the protein structures. And that was in an omnivore. And so there's so much misinformation with that. And a good example is our pets at home. Our pets at home would be better off with the rabbit doo doo than they would be with these protein snacks. Because at least
Mm.
rabbit doo-doo is pre-digested protein, from the grasses. So
Yep.
it's just a lot of misunderstanding. And of course, most of our dogs have kidney weaknesses and they have all kinds of lymphatic problems.
Absolutely, absolutely. What are your thoughts, please, on organic versus commercially grown? Somebody literally asked, what is his thoughts on organic food? Is it a scam?
No, 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 no. Yeah, it's not a scam. You want When you look at commercially grown foods, you're looking at herbicides, pesticides, nutritional stimulants, and things like this. And so everything gets out of whack that way. Uh, your organics are always going to be natural. I can tell you when I went into the woods as a hermit, I got an organic farm that raised organic oranges. And the navel oranges were as big as the grapefruit. And they were so sweet. My body was craving them, craving them. There's a huge difference between organic. Now, some places could scam organic, but you hope not, because you don't want pesticides, you don't want herbicides. These are neurotoxins. And neurotoxins, there's nothing good about neurotoxins. Look at vaccines, they're neurotoxic. So all our children deal with either seizures, death, or ADD or autism, that sort of thing from these neurotoxins. And yeah, our society is full of neurotoxins. One chemist was in talking to me the other day saying there's over 2,000 neurotoxins in our atmosphere right now. And neurotoxins are difficult to get out of the body. And you don't want them. That's My hair turned all white when I had too much a neurotoxin.
Yeah, well, most people your age don't even have hair. So so I think you're doing okay, but
Good, good, good,
most
good.
people don't even make it to your age, actually.
That's too bad because I was just talking to a 84-year-old Japanese lady there in our clinic next door. She's a little sweetheart, but she's full of cholesterol problems, full of all kinds of problems, the poor thing. But she can clean all that up at 84 and go right on up to 100 real easy.
Wow, wow,
Well,
wow.
take a look at the difference. All right. If you want to argue proteins, take a look at the difference. Islanders, because I'm a botanical and herbalist, so I get islanders in my clinic all the time. And I know islands where everybody's above 120. Right. And it's typical. I've had so many islanders in here that were over 100, and I'm looking at them going, there's no way. Oh, yeah, yeah. We were raised on fruit. And why? What's the big deal? I said, well, go to Alaska and look at an elder at even 60s and 70s, and they look like they're 150. Their skin's all wrinkled because they eat high protein. Protein sucks calcium out of your body. And
Mm,
you can see the difference in diet and longevity right there. I mean, it's easy to go see that. Even the Campbell study even showed that to a certain extent.
yes. And so people are asking, can I reverse this? Can I reverse that? Well, Dr.
Absolutely,
Morse said
everything.
everything is reversible. So you don't
I've
have
been I've been in clinical practice for, well, I'm not anymore. I'm retired to do videos, but I've seen people for over 50 years, and I haven't had anything I couldn't cure. I've had people I couldn't cure. You know what I mean? But I haven't had anything exactly. And their adrenals, their emotional states, some heart serious stuff. A lot of people don't give emotions as having a lot of power. They have a lot of power over your nervous system, big time, and that then reflects into your lymphatic system. You have to be careful there. I had a chiropractor's wife that had Lou Gehrig's, so I got her from being modeled in a chair and all that to up walking in 5 months, right? And so, but she had to have a stroller, and help herself. But still, I got her up walking and talking and everything else. But her and her dad, they were just like really bad. She was from Luth. Oh, where was she from? Slovakia or somewhere. And she had to go back and see her family. And I said, I wouldn't advise it, not until you get 100% better. But she went anyway. She came back. She couldn't walk anymore. Her and her dad got into this, and it's all emotions. Well, emotions is your adrenal glands. That's on top of your kidneys. And you suppress your adrenals, you suppress your kidneys. Well, when you suppress your kidneys, what are you suppressing? And that's your lymphatic system. Your blood pressures. Look at your blood pressures. You have two blood pressures, right? Top number and bottom number. Systolic is your adrenal glands, and your bottom number is your kidney pressure. And your kidney pressure shouldn't be over 60 or 65. When you start seeing your blood pressure going up to 80, 90 on the bottom, that's your kidney weakness. You start having serious problems. Well, then up goes your top number. For a lot of people out there listening, they have low blood pressure. Their top number is down in the 90s. That's your adrenal glands. That's your neurotransmitters for your heart, your cardiac punches, we call it. And so they're tired. They don't have any energy, can't think properly, things like this. So those adrenal glands are everything. They produce a lot of things.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all gonna have to watch this one again, guys. So just watch this episode again,
Oh,
just to get everything down, just to take notes and get everything down. Okay, we have just a few more moments together. I want to go back to the salt real quick. Just
okay.
curious. So some people say we need to eat salt. Where do you get your sodium? If you're
I get
eating
it
mostly fruit, where do you get your sodium?
in my fruits.
Fruit.
I get
So fruit
all that I
has
need.
sodium.
But then my body absorbs well and everything else. You have to go back and remember the human body is just a food processor, just a food processor. And you have these stages. The first is digestion. You have to make sure you have good pancreatic digestive power. You digest properly in your mouth. You should chew well. All your carbohydrates digest in your mouth first. And then you have to have absorption. Well, most people have malabsorption, and the reason is the lymphatic system. So if you go to our school, you'll see why, because we teach iridology, and you'll see why malabsorption exists within people. You have to fix malabsorption because you have to be able to absorb what you digested, right? Well, then after you digest and you absorb your nutrition, how does the body use it? How does your body use B vitamins and use nutrition and stuff like this, your minerals? And that's your endocrinology. So when you get that up and working right, now what's the last phase? You have to eliminate the byproducts from all this activity, all this metabolism, all the kinetic movement. All right, if I'm sitting here talking to you guys and I'm working my arm, I'm creating lactic acid, I'm creating all kinds of acids by my movement of muscle, right? Question: am I removing the acids that I'm creating? Or is my acids that I'm creating staying at home? And when they stay at home, what you see is the word inflammation. And it's just your body's immune response to acidosis. And if your kidneys are not filtering, you are not removing your waste from your body, and they will stay at home. Then you see all types of skin problems, from psoriasis to eczema. You see all kinds of liver problems, from fatty livers to inflammatory problems of the liver, heart. You can go anywhere, everywhere. Location, location, location. And it's all very fixable.
What are some daily things that you do to move your lymph and make sure it keeps, flowing properly?
I have a high fruit diet. I do have salads. Once in a while, I do have a salad, but I have a high fruit diet. I have a very high grape diet. I love mangoes. So I live about 75% of my life is fruits, berries. I don't do a lot of melons because in Florida we don't get good watermelon like behind you, and I love good watermelon. Oh my! You got to go to Georgia or go up north to get a good watermelon. And I was raised farming, so we had good watermelons and mushmelons, cantaloupes, and stuff like that. Man, when they're good, oh my God. But you can't even get a good ripe apple anymore. Peaches, you can't even get a peach. We had peaches where I come from, and they just pop when you eat them and just explode all over your face with joy and happiness. They were so good. Down here, they're hard as a rock. And peaches, there's only one fruit that ripens nutritively after you pick it, and that's the banana. Everything else ripens through fermentation.
Whoa, whoa, what?
Yeah, the banana is the only food when you pick it unripe that ripens nutritively as it ripens. Every other fruit you pick, the only way it ripens is fermenting.
I never knew that.
Mhm, mhm.
Oh, that makes so much sense. Everything
Yeah,
else is rotting or going bad
absolutely. A
except
good
the
example is a
banana.
peach. Pick a ripe peach off a tree and taste it, and it just explodes with joy. The taste is sweet, just delicious. Take a hard peach from a store, put it in your windowsill, or just leave it on the counter until it gets soft and you can eat it. And it's like sticky and very gummy. It's fermenting.
Do you ever have pineapple? Because I've heard that, it's impossible to get a ripe pineapple.
Yeah.
Because it needs to ripen on the
Yeah, it
plant.
does. It does. I have a medical doctor friend in Hawaii that sends me these golden pineapples, and when they're ripe, oh my God. But out of a store, I don't buy them because they're too acidic on your mouth. You
Yeah.
get a sore in your mouth from them and all that because they're just, and you have to sit on them and really let them turn. And if you grow them, like if I grow them down here, the coons will take them just before you get ready to get them. These animals in nature know when these things are ready, and it's hard to beat them to them. It's like grapes. I can't hardly grow grapes because the birds steal them. And it's like, oh my God, I'm constantly trying to protect my fruit trees from the animals.
Wow, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so are there any other things that you do daily to move your lymphatic system?
Well, I take herbs once in a while. I don't always on herbs, but I take herbs for the kidneys, herbs for the lymphatic system. I've got an endocrine gland. I got herbs for everything because
What
I'm a
herbs do you recommend specifically for the lymph?
okay. So blood, kidneys, and a lymphatic formula. There are two different formulas, one for the kidneys and one for the lymphatic system. Very key to get that lymph movement. I also recommend an endocrine gland formula with that because your adrenal glands on top of your kidneys run the kidneys. So there's three basic formulas I recommend. And then, of course, we clean people's bowels out. I'll tell you another thing. If you've never dewormed yourself or killed parasites and fungus out of you, highly recommend it.
And how do you go about that?
Well, we use botanicals for that. We got
Yeah.
herbal formulas for worms and big boys, and then we also have formulas for fungus and that sort of thing.
And you said you recommended cleaning the bowels. So do you recommend colonics?
If if you've never had your bowels cleaned, maybe, but colonics only clean the colon. I had one colon therapist claim she could clean the small bowel, but that's not true. The best cleaning agent is your fruits. It'll clean your teeth. It'll clean your bowels. Anything else, anything acidic sticks. So you see what's called mucoid plaque on the bowels. It's a black plaque that grows on the bowels. That's from your flour or your grain products. Yeah, fruits and salads, they clean you. Anything alkaline like that cleans you, and your fruits will even clean your teeth nice for you.
But doesn't fruit cause teeth issues?
No, 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 no. Mm-mm.
But they say
Ah,
they
who's
they
they?
say if you eat a lot of fruit, it rots your teeth
No,
or
no,
the
no,
teeth
no,
will
no,
fall
no,
out.
no, 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 no. If your saliva is acidic, it will. You lose your enamel of your teeth at 5.5 pH, and that meat is below 5. So eating meat will take your enamel out of your teeth. Put it that way. You know, you got to be real careful with
Ah.
all that. So the trouble is man's lymphatic system. So you get these abscesses, your gum recedes. That's not from fruit. That's from your lymphatic system, interstitial stuff. And that you have to clean that. I just finally got my dentist to think lymphatic over bacteria. Because they blame bacteria for everything, right? And yet your bacteria is essential to cleaning you. Your lymph nodes are full of bacteria. You never take antibiotics. You never want to kill the bacteria in your lymph nodes because most waste from cells are about 3 to 4 pH. You don't want to pee 3 to 4 pH or you'll be on your knees. You want to pee about 6 pH, and that's because of good bacterial action in your lymph nodes. Your lymph nodes also have macrophages, so if a cell's damaged in your body, your lymphocytes take these cells to your lymph nodes. But what if the cells can't get these damaged cells to your lymph nodes because your lymph system is too backed up? That's where the problem comes in when you see the cancers and stuff. You start forming tumors, and then monocytes become macrophages, and then it's an ongoing thing. I don't want to complicate things, but still, keeping it simple, you have a sewer system called the lymphatic system, and you have septic tanks called the lymph nodes. And your septic tanks help to break down your waste from damaged cells to your acids, and then off to the kidneys or to the skin to get rid of it. And if that's not happening, that's why everybody's seeing all the things they're seeing. And then it affects the function of cells. So the function of cells either become hyper or hypo. And by cleaning all that up and fixing all this up, everybody goes normal, everybody goes happy, and you can regenerate genetic weaknesses. We do that all the time. And that's a whole nother discussion of genetic consciousness of cells.
Yes. Two more quick questions for
Sure.
you. Thank you so much
Anything.
for your time.
Oh, anything,
I
honey. I'm
feel so honored and blessed to get to
happy to
talk to
help.
you.
Happy
I
to
must have
help.
done something right in a past life.
Stop it. Stop it.
No,
No,
seriously.
I'm here to
Because
help.
not everyone gets, to talk to you. Okay, so now two questions. One, somebody wants to know, is it possible, in your opinion, for someone to thrive on a raw food or fruit-based diet in a cold climate? Is that possible?
That's an excellent question. That's really rough because that is an excellent question. The cold is alkaline, hot is acidic, right? So the Homo sapien is a tropical or subtropical species. And when it's cold out, oh yeah, she's right on. Very difficult. So people tend to do warm herbal teas, actually even go to the veggie soups, like carrot soups and stuff like this, and it gets you away from the raw. But man, when it's zero out, forget that because you do crave the protein. You crave the more mineralized food, the more protein, the more acidic food. Wrong food for the Homo sapien, though. And the problem is humans have migrated to these hostile, colder climates for them. And we're actually a tropical or subtropical species. So she's very right. The tropics are acidic zones. That's why you see all the fruit growing, which is alkaline. Salt water, all of this you see there. But when you go up north, that was part of my thesis, believe it or not, for my naturopathic school, was that the geographical location of chemistry and relationship to that, and relationship to chemistry.
Wow, wow, yeah. Yeah. And I would just like to add that I think it's definitely possible to eat a raw food diet in the
Oh,
cold. I did it for 9 years in New York.
there you
But
go.
will you thrive?
Well, I
No.
don't, you always thrive on raw because no animal cooks their food before they eat it. That's ridiculous. And there's a big reason because everybody wants to take supplements now because they destroy their food or they're eating acid forming foods. They see all these symptoms and oh yeah, we can take this many vitamins and it'll affect this symptom. No, 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 no. You go back on a raw food diet, particularly high in fruit. I'll put it this way: try, and I got this on TikTok, a 21-day naked and afraid diet, which is naked vegetables and fruits. Try a 21-day raw food diet with fruits in the morning, a salad at lunch, and fruit at night. And try that for 21 days and see how you feel. Dr. Oz was famous. How he got famous was putting 12 people to the zoo and giving them monkey food. And all their high blood pressures, cholesterol levels, everything started coming down on them. And yet you see him not talking about it at all anymore.
No, I never heard of that.
No, yeah, but he started out taking 12 people to the zoo, putting them on all raw food, and then he got into selling supplements in on show, and then he got off base. Sometimes we lose ourselves again.
Wow, wow, wow. I gotta research that. I gotta look
It's
at
like
that.
it's like Robert Kennedy is the head of right, and so he can't hardly talk. He's got paralysis of the voice box. I can fix that. I can
Mm,
get him talking normal again, but he
mm,
can't get on his high protein diets. He's got to get rid of all that. But
yeah.
you can fix all this stuff neurological.
Wow. Thank you so much. Okay, last question is there is so much conflicting information in this world.
Mhm.
How do you how do you decide what is truth and what is not? What's your best advice on this discernment that we need?
I've had 50 years of seeing people clinically. So I've had the gamut of supplements. I've used supplements in my earlier years. I've recommended kelps, green drinks, wheatgrass juices. I've used the all types of supplements in the cancer areas. Uh, uh, I've tried everything. Until I realized the simplicity of the whole thing, did I not know the truth and learn about that. And once you understand basics, chemistry, acid and base. You understand there's two fluid based systems in the body. You understand these things, then you're not swayed by this. Plus, you need to try it. This high protein diet is so stupid and ridiculous. Now they got protein babies eating on a piece of meat, human babies eating on a piece of meat. I've never seen anything so stupid in my life. It's irresponsible. It is a very not health building at all. Yeah, if you're going to eat meat, eat it raw. That's for sure. You know, but no, we're not a meat eating species, and we're a frugivore species. So if you have a salad every day, okay, but you need to have a high fruit intake, especially if you have neurological problems. If you got MS or Lou Gehrig's, you need to be 100% fruit.
Is there a reason why you recommend salad in the afternoon instead of at night?
Yeah, because if you look at a herbivore, they grind their vegetables, right? They grind the grasses and stuff like that. We raised horses, we had cows and everything, so they grind, right, because of the high cellulose. Then most of the herbivores have about four compartments or four stomachs, as we call them. Some have up to seven areas to break this down. Humans don't. Humans don't grind. Humans don't only have one stomach, and so very difficult to digest vegetables. I've had seen my patients before and had went out to lunch, had a salad, came back, and about fell asleep talking to them because it took so much energy. When you take more energy to break down your food than it gives you back, that's not the answer. And fruit has the highest electromagnetic energy of all foods on the planet, bar none. And so when Yale came out with a study about the brain converting glucose to fructose, because man doesn't consume much fructose, that just checkmate why I can get you out of wheelchairs, why I rebuild neurological conditions all the time, is that we use fructose. And fructose is neural sugars. You got to have carbon. Carbon is your fuel. That's your blood. That's your blood fuel. That's essential. So we hear all this sugar crap. They're talking about processed sugar or a high sucrose diet. That's polysaccharides. No, 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 no. We're designed for simple sugars, but simple sugars is essential. You have simple sugars in your body dealing in metabolism and stuff that is essential, ribose and things like this. These sugars are essential to the cell. But then you have the need for some amino acids. Why does mother's milk have high carbon and low amino acids or low protein? And that's because amino acids are the lowest form of constituents we need in a food. What about lipids? Your lymphatic system is a lipid-based system. That's your lymphatic system. You need lipids. So that's why you see the ratios in mother's milk the way they are. And you about see that in all species. It depends on the species. Sometimes you see a little higher protein in your bigger animals. But outside of that, no. Your carbon is always number one. That's your gasoline to turn on your car.
I understand. So the vegetables take longer to digest,
Oh,
so you
yeah.
recommend them in the midday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
And then, of course, fruit in the morning, you're breaking a fast from the night before. You haven't eaten all night long. You don't break fast with vegetables. You break them always on fruit. So that gets your kidneys filtering better and everything else. So your always breakfast should be all fruit. That turns you on neurologically. It gives you energy to lunch. Then if you want to have a salad, whatever, okay. If you eat a piece of dead animal, then have it with the salad. Like a piece of fish or chicken if you gotta. But if you can leave that off, good. And then at night, you're going to go to bed. You want to go to bed with clear thinking. You want to have some out of body experiences, don't you? Stuff like this. You want to have your spiritual side turned on. So you want to have a fruit supper. You go to bed. You have good lucid dreams if you in that level. And so much better.
Do you drink juice?
I do.
Okay, so you like juice.
I,
Okay.
I am on a high grape juice diet right now.
Grape juice. Okay, what
Oh,
about
I
green
love grape.
juice?
No, not green juices. And then people are into wheatgrass. I knew Ann Wigmore personally, and I always told her that I'm not into wheat. If you're going to do any green juices, do alfalfa. You got a wholly different plant between wheat and alfalfa. If we had horses, and my sister trained horses for barrel racing and stuff like that. Well, we used alfalfa hay because it builds muscles. Alfalfa is, and I work with Mr. Olympia and a lot of the bodybuilders. And so we get them away from proteins because they lose their kidneys, they get full of RA and all types of arthritis. So we get them on the green powers, which is your amino acids instead of your protein structures. And then they can keep their muscles, they can keep their kidneys, and they can keep their health a lot more.
So thank you so much. So where is the best place to purchase your formulas currently?
Oh, well, go to handcrafted.health and you'll find us all there, or drmorse.com, any of these places like that. But handcrafted.health, you'll see my school. We have our own school. The courses are cheap, fun to do because I teach physics and chemistry just to show you how simple everything is and how the universe works. And of course, we're spiritual people, so we teach you a little out of body stuff. We have an iridology course to teach you how to look at your lymphatic system through your eyes. That's not taught anywhere. And you need to learn about your eyes and how easy it is because you can see every cell in your body from your eyes, and you can see your lymphatic system from your iris. So it's a fun thing. It's fun to get into health and to get the body moving and the energy and learning. And of course, if you're a spiritual person, you want to know what's outside of yourself, right? What is that and who are you really? So, having some out of body experiences is a lot of fun. There's all kinds of fun to have in the world, but not if you're full of pain and suffering. Get yourself out of that. Get
Yeah.
yourself out of your genetic weaknesses and rebuild your body and enjoy life.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you so much. So I'm really grateful to you. I know we have to go. I could talk to you forever. I help run the Woodstock Fruit Festival, so I'm gonna send you all the details because
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
love for you to come if possible, and I'll send you all that.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Dr.
sweetheart.
Morse. You're amazing. Thank you
I
so
love you.
much.
Thank you.
Love
Thank you so
you.
much. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I am going to just let you know that I did see your questions, but I only had 1 hour with Dr. Robert Morse, so I could not answer them all. I'm so sorry. He's a very, very busy man, and he is constantly seeing people. He is booked solid from super early in the morning to really late at night. So it's not easy to get an interview with him, but I'm going to go through all the questions right now, and I am very, very sorry I couldn't answer them all. Let me know what you thought below. That was sorry, but that was amazing. I didn't ask him everything I wanted to ask. I have a million questions, but I tried to get some of your questions in, and I was also very, very nervous um, because, it was like a 6 month wait time to get that interview. Now, um, okay. Can Dr. Morse give me tips on how to fix solar retinopathy? Okay, well, he's reversed every single thing. And at the end of the day, you heard his answers. Everything comes down to the lymphatic system. Get your lymphatic system working properly. And when I grilled him, I asked him 3 times, I think, what do you do for your lymphatic system? Guys, he said the same thing every time. He eats a fruit-based diet. It's what you don't eat that heals you. And stop with the fucking cooking of your goddamn motherfucking food. You're eating acidic food and you want to heal all these things. It's not going to happen. Okay, why are you anti-Semitic? That is a crazy question. You should be ashamed. Okay, all right. Was that for Dr. Morse? Dr. Morse is amazing. Excited for this interview. Do we need vegetables for minerals? No, he doesn't. No, we don't need vegetables for minerals, but I have interviewed him before and I asked him why does he eat any vegetables at all? Why does he eat a salad? Sometimes, it's not every day, it's sometimes. And the reason is because just to ground you. And also, if you're craving salt, it's a good idea to eat greens because they're very high in minerals and they'll help to satisfy your salty cravings. Listen, if you're craving cooked food or sweets, candies, cookies, baked goods, you're not eating enough fruit. If you're craving salt, you're not eating enough greens at the end of the day. What does anti Semitic mean to you? Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Forget about B12. Okay. Can Dr. Morse give advice on how to fix solar retinopathy? Okay. That's the same question. Sorry, I could not get that answered, but he was going to answer, he was going to most likely say the exact same thing, which is your lifestyle. That's a lifestyle um, disease, right? I mean, I don't even know what that is, to be honest. Can somebody tell me exactly what that is? We have a lot of questions here, but it comes down to the lymphatic system. The body was designed to heal itself, but we keep getting in its way. What if somebody's 200 pounds? How many dropfuls of your tinctures should we take? How tall are you? You need to go on a raw food diet, boo. You're asking the wrong question. You should be asking, how do I stick to a raw food diet? Okay, because you don't want to overcompensate with the herbs and the tinctures. You want to get down to a healthy diet. Nothing is going to fix you if you cannot master the basics. The basics: food, water, sleep, air. Take a deep breath in. Jeannette, talking to myself. Unfortunately, I can't stay too long because I do have to pee, but I might go and come back because I've been drinking a lot of coconut water today. I was surprised to hear that he doesn't drink green juice. He looks good, right? Let me know what you guys thought. Watch this again and take notes. I'm going to for sure. Uh, He's amazing. Okay, we answered the underactive thyroid. Oh, yes, I wanted to ask about the parasite cleansing because recently Eli Martyr and I had a conversation yesterday, actually, where he said parasites and bacteria help us to remove heavy metals from our body. And all these people are like doing parasite cleanses, but that is actually how heavy metals get out of our body. And I was like, what? So I wanted to, and I trust Eli. He's nerd central, he's been doing research while y'all been sleeping and watching Pop the Balloon. Okay. But he just researches for fun. And so I know that he knows what he's talking about, but I wanted to ask Dr. Morse about that, but I didn't have time, unfortunately. I'll do another interview with him, hopefully about 6 months or so. I've been trying to get him to come to Woodstock Fruit Festival for a while now. I'll send his assistant the details, but we'll see. We shall see. Dr. Morse, herbs are the magic healers. Wild herbs. Personally, I have never had herbs, but I'm open to them absolutely because they are from the earth. They are not made in a science lab, and that's really important. When you're taking a supplement, you are taking something synthetic created by a scientist made in a science lab. And you heard what he said, boo. He don't take no supplements. He's 70 motherfucking 5 years old, been on a raw food diet over 50 years. Can't beat that with a stick. Um, what do you recommend for emotional instability? A raw food diet helped me a lot. I was a bitch before I went raw, let me tell you. I was slamming doors, throwing things. I was nasty. I was just not a nice person. And I was really tired too, all the time, all the time. And I mean, right now, I'm not like I did a workout this morning. I didn't sleep last night. I was up super late trying to finish the Eli interview. I want to post it on Saturday. I'm working on the video. So I got about 4 hours of sleep. I'm feeling fine. I have a lot of things to do today, but I need more sleep. I wanted to ask him about his sleep. I'm curious about that. Um, so next time, can we add oil and salt to homemade salad dressing? Yes, you can. But do you want to? You might want to find a better way because oil is a processed food and salt is extremely toxic to the human body. It has heavy metals, it is dehydrating, and one of the biggest issues with health problems, one of the most common causes of health problems, dis-ease in the body is dehydration. Dehydration. That's why I don't eat cooked food and I don't eat dehydrated food either. Why in the world are raw vegans dehydrating food? Why are you eating raw? It don't make any sense to eat dehydrated food. You want to be hydrated. What are we doing as a species? I don't know. Wow. Question, frozen fruit, good or bad? Yeah, frozen fruit is not ideal. Fresh is best. But is frozen fruit better than rice, beans, pasta, dead animal body parts, dairy? Yes. So we're going from good, better, and best. You know what you have access to and what you can do and what you can't do. I mean, Dr. Morse has his own fruit trees. So he probably doesn't eat frozen fruit, but it's like I don't. So I eat frozen fruit. Not much anymore, but I used to. I was raw for 9 years in New York City. So you know, didn't have any access to any type of fresh fruit. I mean, yeah, I had the store fruit, but I didn't have, fruit from the tree. And I had to have a lot of frozen fruit, especially in the wintertime. Thank you so much, Darren, for your amazing email today. I've shared it on my story, on my YouTube community page. Go check it out. Darren sent me a great Dr. Morse video. It's 2 minutes long. There are several students under Dr. Morse online. I can guide you to one of them if you want. Yes, I already eat a fruit-based diet. LOL. Um, what did you comment before? Uh, okay, you eat a fruit-based diet, but you're asking if oil and salt can be added to homemade dressings. Okay, so I understand. Yeah, a fruit-based diet is great, but it's what you don't eat that heals you. So if you're eating a fruit-based diet, but you're also eating, processed foods, meat, dairy, I don't know what you eat. Fruit-based diet could mean anything. You could eat bread, you could eat, I don't know. It's hard to know. Eli resonates 100%. Yeah, Eli is the fucking truth. Dr. Morse is the truth. Oof. Okay. I don't know a great iridologist, but I'd love to see Dr. Morse. I'm saving up. I think it's last time I checked or last time I heard it's $400 or $500 to get him to read your eyes. I think it's worth it. I definitely think it's worth it. Me personally, I'm doing the best I can. I'm eating a raw food diet. I thought he was going to say exercise. He didn't. I'm wondering if he exercises. I'm sure he does, but at the same time, does he even have time? So I thought he was going to say rebounding, which we have talked about in the past. I have to get on my rebounder. Guys, one of the best things there is to do is leave your stuff out. Like leave your yoga mat out, leave your rebounder out, leave stuff out so that you will do it because otherwise if it's in a closet and you got to take it out. The same with the juicer. If you want to juice, leave it out. Now he drinks fruit juice. He's on a grape juice only diet right now. I mean, this guy is just like proving that fruit is the truth, you guys. Fruit is the food we're supposed to be eating, but the doctors don't know diddly squat about what we should be eating. They're fucking telling, I mean, the doctors told me I would die if I didn't eat a complete protein. I mean, that is irresponsible. I was dying before I went raw. So yeah, I'm going more and more and more towards fruit only. But I still do eat salad sometimes. Now, I am as of today, oh, it's already 3 o'clock. Damn. As of tomorrow, I'm gonna try. No, I'm going to. Don't say the word try because that means you're not gonna do it. I am going to eat fruit for breakfast. If I want a salad, I'll eat it for lunch and then fruit for dinner because I've been doing fruit, and salad for like 15 years. And it works, but at the same time, I don't have the best sleep. Maybe because I'm digesting my motherfucking salad all night. And don't even think about expecting to be happy and healthy and getting a good night's sleep and not being bloated if you're eating late at night. If you eat after the sun sets, don't even think. Don't even think about having a flat stomach, looking good, feeling good, healing. Like you gonna be digesting all night. How can you heal if you're digesting all night? You've got to follow the daylight diet, which is you eat during the day. So I gotta go because I gotta eat. Love you guys so much. I am going to eat some grapes, you know. Listen, I'm trying to be like Dr. Morse. Let me get on that grape fast. Now, I wouldn't do a fast, but I mean, I could easily do a grape fast if I had unlimited grapes. It's just they're so expensive, and I've never had a fresh grape in my life. Has anybody else? He's talking about growing grapes. I've never had a fresh grape in my life from the tree. And did you guys know that thing about bananas? Oh my God, hi Boo. Oh, I just scheduled an interview with Ann Osborne for next week or the week after. So email me if you have any questions for her. The Grape Cure is an awesome book. The problem is, though, that people try to go from processed foods to only grapes, and then they go back to processed foods, and it's like, it's a marathon, boo, not a sprint. Oh my God, Ann Osborne. I didn't even see your comment till just now. Ann Osborne wrote the book on grapes. Did she? I have two of her books. I didn't read them though. She wrote the book on grapes. She wrote The Grape Cure because I have The Grape Cure, and that is not written by Ann Osborne. The sun will be setting around 5:30 here. Yeah, I gotta run because I gotta eat. You can get a rebounder with handles or hold onto a chair or something while bouncing. Um, he said exercise and rebounder builds acid and he wants to alkaline the body. Yeah, yeah, right. Right. I didn't have time because he's very busy. I knew we had an hour. I didn't fully understand that. Did anybody, oh, Don B is here. We know that's you, Don Bennett. No, I'm sorry. Um, can anybody explain that to me in the comments below about that? Because he said, yeah, he was talking about exercise building acid. Are you telling me not to exercise? Because that's not going to happen, boo. Exercise has changed my life. I exercise as my coffee. That's how I get energy. Exercise provides more energy than sleep. Like, that's how I got energized this morning. I did a live Instagram workout. I'm just like, I know acids are being built, but like, can someone explain that one to me? Should we not exercise? Because I'm not going back to being fat. Just saying. I know we're not supposed to say that word, but that's what I was. That's what I was, and I won't go back. Just life is too good in a body that feels good to live in. And I loved what he said at the end. He's very spiritual. I'm going to actually leave I'm going to cut this part out. I'm going to save this interview and I'm going to cut this part out. But I'm going to leave below the last interview I did with him, which went really deep into spirituality. He is amazing. I love him so much. I'm closing. In closing, you have positive energy even more than previous interviews. Oh, thank you so much, Darren. Well, I really respect him. There's not a lot of people I respect out here. So, if you see me not cursing, when you see me interviewing somebody and like, just like trying my best to stay on my best behavior, that's because I really respect them. Or that's not true actually, because some people I interview and they're my friends. Like Eli, he's a friend of mine. So like I curse during the interview because he's my friend. And wait till you see our interview on Saturday. I think you're gonna love it. He is so funny and so knowledgeable, and he's gonna fucking ruin your life, change your life and ruin your life. So do me a favor, eat all the seaweed you want. Eat all the seaweed you want now before Saturday, because my interview with Eli comes out on Saturday. You're not gonna eat seaweed after that. So see all the weed and eat all the seaweed that you motherfucking want, because whew, mm-mm, mm-mm. If you are acidic, you must not working out lactic acids. If you do exercise, you'll have to drink more fluids or fruit to flush the acid. Doesn't say not to exercise forever. Yeah, I didn't really understand that because he's right. It builds acid, but like we need to exercise though. We need to move. Like I know that for a fact. So I gotta go. I gotta go for a walk. Um, Gotta interview him again because I gotta understand that fully. All right. Love you guys so much. Thanks for being here. Sorry I couldn't answer all the questions. If you're wondering, uh, how to heal this, how to heal that, watch this interview again. He taught everything has the same protocol, guys. Get on a fucking fruit-based diet. Get off the dead animals. Stop cooking your food. Stop taking the supplements. I'm not a doctor, but you just heard a doctor say to fucking, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then some dumbass fucking raw vegans are going to say that's irresponsible to not take a synthetic supplement. I think it is extremely irresponsible to recommend a synthetic supplement. It's extremely irresponsible. But hey, they given out chemo and radiation. And just yesterday, I looked up how much the doctors make every time someone, not you, but every time someone agrees to getting radiation and chemotherapy, $50,000 or more. I mean, it's unbelievable how much money they are making off our naivete and our gullibleness. You've been so busy. I have so many videos in your notifications. Yeah, you have no idea. Here's what's happening. What's happening with me is that I was posting. So I have 4,000 videos on YouTube. Find somebody else that has over almost 4,000 videos. I have 3,990 like 7 videos on YouTube. And I was posting like 4 or 5 times a day for a while. And then I realized maybe I'm not growing. Somebody gave me some advice and they said, you're posting too much. So now I'm going to do 1 or 2 a day at the most. And maybe you guys will motherfucking watch them. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this episode. I'll do more lives with people that know what the hell they're talking about instead of these plant-based doctors just selling us their supplements. And yeah, Dr. Robert Morse, he sells herbs, but you don't need them. He says it all the time. They help, but what does he say? When I asked him, what's the best way to move your lymphatic system? He could have said this formula, this formula. No, he said fruit. He said fruit. He's not just trying to sell you, he's trying to save your life. He is a light worker and he is trying to save your life, but you just trying to fight it and fight it. And so many of these raw vegans, they missing the boat. They missing the point. Master the basics. Why are you poisoning yourself with a chemical which has all types of heavy metals? We all know heavy metals are not healthy, and that's what you're doing when you're putting the salt in your body too, full of heavy metals. You're trying to take out the heavy metals, but you're putting them in at the same time. And don't get me started on the heavy metal detox smoothie, which contains dulse, which contains things that have heavy metals in them. We putting in the heavy metals into the heavy metal detox smoothie. What the fruit are we doing as a species? Please don't let me be the only one that is here on this earth and thriving in a body that feels good. Don't let me be the only fruity cutie with a booty, just feeling good, living good, looking younger every single day. I don't need makeup. I don't need makeup, okay? Because I got fruit all up in my immune system, okay? Helping me fight off the fucking horrible things that are going on in this world. Yeah, there's chemtrails. Yeah, there's heavy metal in the water, um, birth control in the water, feces in the water. Yeah, of course, of course, of course. That's why you got to eat raw. That's why you got to eat raw because your body knows what to do, but you got to get out of the way. You putting in too much whey protein and you putting in too much rice and beans and whatever the fuck you're eating and drinking, oil and salt. So your body can't do what it was designed to do. Detox all the stuff out. You want the heavy metals out, but you're putting them in. How can your body know what to do? It's like you're telling your body, no, we like this, we want this. Can somebody ask medical medium why he's recommending heavy metals in a heavy metal smoothie? Herbs will get you there, but fruit are number one. Do that and your journey begins. 100%, 100%. All right, nobody could really clear up the exercise thing for me. I'll do some research. I'll ask Chat GPT. I'll get oh my God, if you guys knew what Eli sent me the other day. All right, I gotta go. He had a conversation with ChatGPT. I'm gonna ask him if I could read it to you guys live. Probably not. I'll get kicked off the internet. When you got a genius talking to ChatGPT, it is fucking hilarious. He sent me all the screenshots. It was amazing. I'm so blessed and highly favored to get to interact with these people because y'all see, I'm not smart. I just have the instinct of a animal, which is I eat my species specific food. All animals eat their species specific food. So I don't have any type of I don't have any special like brain power like these Robert Morse and Eli and these people. No, I'm just doing what makes sense. It just makes sense. You know what doesn't make sense? Cooking food and eating dead animals. It just doesn't make sense. Love you guys so much. I really appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Let me know, please, below what you thought. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe if you want to see more. And let me know below if I should do another interview with Dr. Robert Morse. Love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye. Thanks for being